Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to week 2. I'm excited to do this, and I was super happy to see those of you that did the science experiment and sent me pictures and some videos, and that was super cool, and I definitely appreciate that. For this week, it looks a little bit like last week. They will look about the same, just to kind of keep us in the same routine as we were for the school year. The first slide for mine is the ELA with the vocab. I kind of switched it up a little bit. I just wanted that first week to be a little bit of review with those definitions, antonyms, synonyms, using your thesaurus that you were given this year. This week, have a little bit more fun with it. Become familiar with those words, use those words, look them up in a dictionary, and then go ahead and create a comic strip and use those words and place them in dialogue where, your characters are talking back and forth with one another. The second activity that I provided was a fill in the blank, so you can write a couple sentences down, leave a blank where that vocab word would be, and then quiz your parent or a grandparent or a sibling and see if they can decide using the context clues in your sentence what word would be appropriate. The next slide that you will go ahead and see is a little bit about main idea and supporting details. It gives a couple hints on what to do before reading, during reading, after reading, to figure out what that main idea is of what you're reading, what it's mostly about, and by being able to identify the details that help support that main idea. Then I provided a brain pop to try it on your own. Go ahead and do those activities. You can go ahead and read the following paragraph. It is about thunderstorms. And then same thing, you don't have to print the paper out, but you can just do it on paper laying around the house or a whiteboard or a chalkboard or whatever you have available, and go ahead and determine the main idea of that article and identify the 3 most important details. Remember, go back into the text. You can go back, reread, think of all those different skills that we used at the beginning of the year when we were finding our answers. The next thing you'll go ahead and you'll take a look at is the ELA, the story of the week, and it's Ecology for Kids. It's another great nonfiction story. Go ahead and listen to that, and then it will ask you to determine the main idea of one of the pages of the story, not the whole story, but looking at, what led you to believe that that's the main idea, by what types of supporting details did you find within that text. Again, go ahead and pause the video, no problem. You can go back, you can reread it yourself, you can listen to it yourself, so then you can be able to identify those supporting details. Moving on, IXL skills. I always try to pair my skills with something that we were learning. So for reading strategies, you can focus on finding the main idea. For vocab, mess around with some multiple meaning words. We did that a little bit. It'll be kind of review coming back. And then for under grammar, go ahead and practice those nouns, those verbs, those adjectives, and adverbs. Then it brings us into writing, and our writing focus for the rest of the year is going to go ahead and be figurative language and poetry. I'm super bummed out that we weren't able to do our demonstration speeches, and we're not going to be able to do our living museum. But what I normally do in April is we focus on figurative language and poetry, and I know some kids are going to go, boo, poetry, right? But it doesn't always have to rhyme. So we went ahead and we're going to start with similes and metaphors, and I gave a great definition of both of them and provided some examples for you along with a brain pop for you to watch and enjoy. And then you can go ahead and follow the next couple slides, and there are some practice pages. Again, don't worry about printing them. Just go ahead and answer them verbally or write your answer down. But it talks about, what are similes, what are metaphors, what's the difference between the two? And then the next page is just to kind of have fun with it and try some on your own. I provided 8 different similes, and then you can go back through and you are going to draw a creature or an alien that is being described using these similes. And then if you want to, you can come up with your own 8 similes and have, again, somebody in your household try to draw that and follow your similes. The next thing that you will see is using these similes now and using these metaphors in our own writing to kind of like spice up our writing. That's the point of figurative language, is to make our own writing, our personal narratives, our spooky stories, things like that type of writing that we're used to writing, but just adding a little bit more to them to make them more interesting. So what I did was it's called question poetry. And what you're going to do is you can choose any topic you want. I chose flowers. Why? Because I love, love, love them, that they're blooming in my front yard. And I feel so bad when they get covered in snow. So you're going to choose a topic of your choice, and you're going to write questions about it. I did a flower. It says, why are you drooping like heavy grapes on a vine? And you want to make sure that you kind of weave in some similes and metaphors that you just got done practicing on the practice pages and also on the videos that you watched. Then it continues right into science, and again, I want to say how proud I am of those of you that did the kinetic and the potential lab, and I want you to go ahead and first thing, go ahead and review that. Look up that brain pop. I posted the link on the slide, and quiz yourself. Do you have a full understanding of kinetic energy and potential energy? And then this week we shifted gears and we're talking about natural resources. We're talking about non-renewable resources, renewable resources, and alternative energy. So there is a handout that is provided in there that I would like you to read through. And then it moves on and it does a little sort like we normally do. We cut them out and we move them and we glue them underneath different headings and make columns. Again, just make your 3 columns, label them, renewable, non-renewable, and alternative energy. And then you can just jot down what it was in that column. You'll see on the side what I'm talking about. Then it has a couple questions for you to answer, just for you to kind of see how your comprehension went with non-renewable and renewable. And I have a short video. It's kind of a corny video, but I thought it was funny. So did Emmett. So enjoy that. And then that's it for me this week, all right? So don't be overwhelmed with all the slides. I didn't realize I had so many until I got to the end of it. But, you know, I'm most productive in the morning. So get up and say, hey, I'm going to do, you know, music today and science. Or I'm going to do, you know, vocabulary and social studies. You know, just pick something that you want to do and take it one day at a time. I miss you guys so much. I love our Zooms, so I really appreciate it. Please let me know through email or class tag if you have any questions and I can help you. And if you want to send me any of your question poems that you did and you played around with some similes and metaphors, I would definitely love, love, love to see them this week. Be safe and keep learning. Bye.